Idaho mom Lori Vallow Daybell, she's going on trial almost 3 years after her arrest on charges of killing two of her children. Her husband is being tried separately. Dan Abrams standing by with his analysis of the case. First, Mola Lengi joins us from Boise, Idaho. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, George. The 49-year-old is facing life in prison after prosecutors say she used her apocalyptic religious beliefs to justify the murders of her two children.
This morning in Idaho, Lori Vallow Daybell will stand trial before a jury. Vallow Daybell on trial for killing her two children, 7-year-old JJ and 17-year-old Tylee, plus a third murder, her husband Chad's previous wife Tammy. Prosecutors allege all three murders were part of a doomsday plot.
They've been at this for a long time, for several years now, pushing to get this case to trial and finally getting the people responsible for it to sit in front of a jury and be prosecuted for the charges.
The grandparents of Vallow's son reported the children missing in 2019 after Vallow privately married Chad Daybell in Hawaii and joined his religious group.
Can you tell me where your kids are, Chad and Lori?
In divorce papers, Vallow's ex-husband Charles said Lori believed she was a godlike figure who called the children zombies and said she was sent to usher in the apocalypse.
Ever since she's been involved in this doomsday cult, that is not the same Lori that we knew for 13 years.
After 9 months of searching, the children's remains were found in a shallow grave on their stepfather's property. When Vallow was arrested in February of 2020, Daybell insisted the kids are safe.
Is there anything that you would like to say to people at all who are, number one, concerned about the kids?
We just have to wait for the legal process to work through.
Several more deaths occurring within months of JJ and Tylee's disappearance. Chad's ex-wife, Tammy's death, originally ruled natural before investigators alleged Lori and Chad killed her in order to collect her life insurance money. In the summer of 2019, Lori Vallow's now deceased brother, Alex Cox, killed her previous husband, Charles Vallow, in what was originally ruled self-defense. The couple has maintained their innocence, pleading not guilty to the charges. If convicted, Vallow could face life in prison without parole after the death penalty was taken off the table.
They would hope that it would be a guilty verdict on both cases, not just Lori's, but the other case.
Well, Chad Daybell, also charged in the murder of the two children, will have a separate trial. A trial date has not yet been set, George.
Okay, Mola, thanks very much. It's bringing our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. Is this a tough case for the prosecution?
Look, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence here, right? If you look at the totality of the circumstances, it looks terrible for them, right? They don't report their kids missing. They don't seem to know where their kids are. They won't produce their kids, et cetera. And then, of course, they find the two bodies near Chad's home. So all of that looks terrible. But for the prosecution, they're still going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she murdered them. And that doesn't mean she has to have actually committed the murder herself, but that she was involved in the planning, that she was involved in the preparation, et cetera. And that's going to be the challenge, is getting over from just looks really bad to committed murder.
So what's the defense's team's strategy here?
Yeah, so I think there are going to be a couple things. First of all, they're going to focus on reasonable doubt. I don't expect that she would testify in connection with this case. They already seem to be suggesting an alibi defense, that she wasn't there at the time the murders likely occurred, although that doesn't explain how she could have planned or been involved in a conspiracy to commit murder. And it sounds like she may point the finger at her brother, who becomes a critical player in this. Now, whether she points the finger at him, suggests he might have done it, he's died now. And he was involved in the death of another one of their spouses. And so it is possible that the defense will suggest at the least it could have been him. If not, it was him, but he's going to become a central figure in the case.
And how likely is it that Chad Daybell makes a deal to testify against his wife?
You know, I thought about this. I think it's unlikely. I mean, first of all, prosecutors would have to offer a deal to him, right? They would have to believe that he was less culpable than she was. And as a result, that it was worth making a deal with him to come forward and testify against her. So far, no indications that that's going to happen. But in these kinds of cases, you never know.
Well, and you'll be watching.
I will.
Dan Abrams,
Yep.
Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.